92 is following a developing story tonight. Just minutes ago, Kent State's undergraduate student government began its regularly scheduled public meeting. We've learned the organization Black United Students and other Kent State students plan to voice their concerns at the meeting about a USG board member allegedly making an offensive racial comment. Alexa Maslowski is live at the meeting right now in the governance chambers. She joins us live on the phone with the very latest. Alexa?
Yeah, Michael, I actually just stepped out of USG's meeting here where many members of both Black United Students and other student organizations are in attendance, as well as Amanda Paniagua, the student who's actually making the complaint against the USG member. Yet they have not gotten to public contribution just yet. However, I did speak with Isaac Floyd, who is the Director of Student Relations for Black United Students. He told me that they're looking to receive 590 signatures to put the members of USG through an anti-racist training, and that they're using the power of collectivity to make a statement here today. We'll be talking with him again and the Executive Director, Marvin Logan of USG, after the meeting to kind of get their input on how they thought this went. And we'll have more on that tonight at 10:30, and we'll keep everyone updated on our social media, both Twitter and Facebook.
All right, Alexa, thank you so much. Now, this announcement comes just months after Black United Students demanded the resignation of two other USG members for allegedly making racial remarks. BUS filed former grievances at the November 12th USG meeting last year against USG Senator-at-Large Joshua Lewis and Director of Residence Halls Lauren Buchanan. Lewis continues to serve as Senator-at-Large, but Buchanan left her position this semester for reasons that is unrelated to the incident. We'll have more information for you tonight live at 10:30. And the officer who killed an unarmed teenager in Ferguson, Missouri will not face criminal charges. Earlier today, the Justice Department released a full report of its investigation, clearing Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson of any civil rights violations. Prosecutors say they could not disprove Wilson's testimony that he feared for his life when he fatally shot 18-year-old Michael Braun. The shooting back in August sparked months of peaceful and violent protests across the country. Following the release of the report, Attorney General Eric Holder addressed the nation with a message to people who may be upset about the outcome.
This outcome is supported by the facts that we have found, but I also know that these findings may not be consistent with some people's expectations. To all those who have closely followed this case and who have engaged in the important national dialogue that it has inspired, I urge you to read this report in full.
The Department of Justice also found the Ferguson Police Department engaged in a pattern of discrimination against African Americans. Paulo Sandoval has more on the newly released report.
Accusations against the Ferguson Police Department went national last summer. Some people in the St. Louis suburb accused their police force of unfairly targeting African Americans. Well, today, the federal government says many of those allegations are true. A scathing new Justice Department report concludes Ferguson PD engaged in a pattern and practice of discrimination against African Americans. Findings of the civil rights investigation revealed racist jokes shared among Ferguson officers and court officials. Statistics show a disproportionate arrest rate among black citizens between 2012 and 2014, and an excessive number of traffic stops despite Ferguson's 67% African American population. Officials in Washington are recognizing the racial divide in the heartland of the U.S.
This particular issue is much broader than just one community, and that there are communities across the country that are rightfully taking another look at these issues. And that is a good thing for the country.
Attorney General Eric Holder ordered the federal probe following the police shooting of Michael Braun in August. A second report issued by the DOJ effectively closes the book on the Ferguson officer who killed Braun. Federal prosecutors say Darren Wilson's actions did not violate any civil rights. Ferguson officials say they're still poring over the report and would respond soon. I'm Paulo Sandoval reporting.
This incident, along with other shootings, ignited a protest slogan of "Hands up, don't shoot." Witnesses have said Braun had his hands up when he was fatally shot. Another detail federal prosecutors say they couldn't prove.
The future of America's healthcare is on the table in the Supreme Court today. Justices will hear arguments in a case challenging a central provision of President Obama's signature healthcare law. If the court ultimately rules against the Obama administration, more than 5 million people will no longer be eligible for subsidies. This is the third time that parts of the healthcare law have been challenged in the Supreme Court.
A jury heard opening statements today in the Boston Marathon bombing trial. This comes nearly 2 years after a pair of homemade bombs killed 3 and injured hundreds more at the marathon's finish line in 2013. The suspect's defense team began the trial today with a surprising admission. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev's attorney said his client admits to playing a role in the bombings, but he also says Tsarnaev's brother influenced his client to commit the crimes. Tsarnaev faces the death penalty if convicted. The trial is expected to last until late June. And an Ohio man is behind bars for allegedly supporting terrorists. Now his friend is facing charges after visiting him in jail. 18-year-old Abdi Aden visited Abdir Mohammed Friday. Mohammed is facing charges of supporting terrorism and money laundering. Police say Aden became belligerent at the jail. Deputies say when they asked him to leave, Aden shaped his hand like a gun and started waving it while saying something in a foreign language.
Nah, I have nothing to say, man.
What happened this weekend?
Nope.
Anything that happened inside or outside? Or?
No, man. That's it.
Aden pled guilty to a charge of menacing. He is currently out on bond.
An investigation is underway in Columbus after a delivery truck crashed into a police cruiser with a deputy inside on Interstate 71. Emergency responders had to free the deputy from the car. The officer was treated and released from a hospital within hours after the crash. The sheriff's office does not think that drugs or alcohol contributed to the accident. And in southern Ohio, a 7-month-old girl is alive after being thrown more than 24 feet from her mother's car. Lauren Clark has the story.
It said this car ran a red light at the intersection of Philadelphia Drive and Turner Road around 10 a.m. Madison, her mother, and a 15-year-old girl were inside the van, struck from the side. The baby, still in her car seat, was thrown through the window on impact.
They said her eyes were closed, literally closed, and she was face down in the car seat. And when they flipped her over, they thought she was dead. They said her eyes opened and she started smiling.
The family couldn't believe it.
And she told me that she had been thrown 25 feet. And I said, and it went, and I like, and I start crying like, oh my God.
Aside from a small bruise on Madison's forehead, you'd never guess what kind of day she's had.
You're looking at her like, wow, she don't even know what's going on. You know, she was the one in the trauma, and we're traumatized, but she's not.
The family says that after today, they're sure they've got somebody looking out for them upstairs.
God does not make mistakes, and I tell people that all the time.
The family is calling Madison's survival a miracle.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your TV2 weather.
Gray day, nothing too fun or exciting reason to be outside, and sheets of ice everywhere. You could go ice skating.
Yeah, very icy from yesterday. We had that rain come, and I know it was just like an ice rink outside.
With the temperatures dropping, you might as well put on some ice skates. You'll get to class or anywhere you're going a lot quicker.
People's tires squeal in parking lots.
Yes.
Very dangerous, very cold.
Right, you have to prepare for everything. And it's just about to get colder too. Tonight and tomorrow, we'll take a look. Temperatures will continue to drop off. So here we'll see that we're all right about that freezing mark. So 32, 34 right here in Kent, and this temperature will continue to drop all day long, continuing into tonight and tomorrow as well. So we're going to see another short blast of Arctic air with us. But today we saw these snow showers. They stayed pretty much south all day long, and they will continue to stay south tonight. Now we have a slight chance of seeing these move north a little bit this evening, but for the most part, these will be staying south as these bands coming from this large system continue to move across the region, but again, stay south. Now looking ahead into the future, we have something to look forward to after this short blast of Arctic air. This big H up here, this is going to bring us lots of sun and more warmer weather for this time of year. So definitely not too warm, but for winter, we will take anything above this dreaded 10 degrees for this low this evening. Again, just a slight chance of snow, but with those chances still staying south for tonight. Now tomorrow is when we're going to see this Arctic blast of air. So we won't be warming up too much going into tomorrow, as our high will not get very high with that Arctic blast staying only into tomorrow. But looking ahead for the rest of the week. We'll pull up our 7-day here. Tomorrow, again, only a high of 16 a.m. showers with that snow stain. But then we gradually will warm up and lots of sunshine for you. So plenty of sunshine for your weekend, and we will continue this warm up. Look at that. Warm up Monday, 42, and it just keeps getting better from there. Tuesday, 48, Wednesday, 50. Can't believe I am saying 50 and 48. It feels great. Spring is going to be here. We spring ahead in time on Sunday.
Lose an hour of sleep.
It'll be great.
Absolutely. Yeah, that 50 degrees is going to feel so nice.
Yes,
so.
It'll be wonderful.
Good. Thank you so much, Candace.